Hi, my name is Fred Newman. I'm the owner of the View Camera Store, and today I'd like to talk about film holders. How to load film holders, how to clean film holders, a little bit about film in the film boxes, using a 4-inch anti-static brush, putting your film holders in a Ziploc, putting your film holder in the back of the camera to take a picture, and all those things. Don't forget, this is going to be done in the dark. What we're talking about is your film box. 4x5, all the sheet film boxes are a 3-part box. So you've got an outside one, a middle one, and an inner box. And typically, Ilford film comes in a black plastic bag, and it's got a piece of cardboard, and your film is inside. Now the key thing to remember, these are all fog films, so don't get nervous. The key thing to remember about film is the little notches on top. What you want to do in order to get the emulsion facing you, your right index finger, you should be able to feel like when you have it facing you like a book, just like this, that means the emulsion is facing you. So that's the first thing to remember. Right index finger, upper right corner of the film. So actually, we're going to do this as a demonstration in the dark. Okay, now again, remember, this is very important. It's a box within a box within a box. So when you open the box, this is done in the dark, of course. If you ever see this box like this, you've made a mistake. You always want to see it so you don't see any edges. You want to be able to see, usually like with Ilford boxes, you'll see the little space with the information and actually what the notch code looks like. So remember, it's a box within a box. And this is how I set up film for when I'm in the dark. So just think of us being in the dark, and I'm handling this. So I'm getting all my boxes opened up. The film is in a black plastic bag again. It's in cardboard. So you've got your little stack of film. So what I usually do when loading film, I'll match where the notch is, and I'll leave it just like this. Now we'll talk about film holders. As you notice, the film holders are 3 pieces. You've got a dark slide for one sheet, a dark slide, for the other sheet. You've got little tiny locks, like a little L piece of metal to hold down it, so this way you can't open it up. And usually on the dark slide, there's a white strip and a black strip. So the way usually convention is, the white strip means you have film that has not been exposed. When you're done taking a picture, normally, most of us do, we put the black strip on the outside, so that means that we've exposed this sheet of film. One of the most important things with sheet film holders or anything with large format is not having dust. Dust is not our friend. So normally before I actually load film holders, I'll take some kind of household cleaner, clean off the surface of the table that I'm going to change film in or load film in the film holders. So the first thing I'll do is clean the table. I'll wash my hands so that there's no oil or grease on my fingers. What you're going to need is a 4-inch dust brush, anti-static brush. They don't make these anymore. It kind of gives away my age because these are from Costner. The newer ones are made by Kintronics. They're 4-inch dust brush, which is perfect for your 4x5 film holder. So the first thing you're going to do is take the dark slides out. What I would first do is just give a little tap in case there's any dust in there. You'll notice there's a little flap in the bottom. Everything with film holders is like little light traps. And you'll notice that little lips go above other lips to keep dark. So the first thing I'm going to do is brush out this side of the film holder, brush out the other side of the film holder, brush off both sides of the dark slide. And again, I'm putting the dark slides in part way, and I'm leaving the white strip out. Okay, so we're all set now to load a film holder. Again, now imagine we're in the dark. We've got a film holder over here. We've got the film opened up from the boxes here. I'm going to put the film aside, the boxes aside rather. And what I have is the film with the notch in the upper right corner. So in the dark, I'm actually going to take the film and load it in here. Now one of the things that you have to notice with film holders is there are 2 tracks. The inner track is where the film goes, and the upper track is where the dark slide goes. So what I do is when loading film, I usually use my little finger, and the 2 little tracks right here, hold my fingers gently here, and I slide the film underneath, And when you look carefully, it can only go so far. Close up this, and you notice there's a little groove. The bottom of the dark slide fits in the groove, and there's little angle pieces that will lock after we load both sides. And then we'll load the second side. Separate out the film. You just take my little finger here. Again, there's two little, you can feel the tracks where they start here. So with your two fingers here, just gently slide the film in until it stops. Close the little flap, push this down, and you notice there's two little locks, so just lock one way and one the other way. This way, there's no chance of your film holder, of the film actually being exposed by grabbing it by accident. One of the things I recommend is when you're all done loading all your film is, actually let me put it back like we're all done, and in the dark, before I forget, we're still in the dark. We've got our plastic bag, we've got our little cardboard thing here. So we're just going to put the film in the cardboard. Put the cardboard with the film in the little bag. We're going to put the film in the inner box. And then the middle box goes on top of it like closing a box. We're going to flip it over so you can see the little edge here. And then we're going to close this box here. Now this film box is all set. One of the things I recommend for 4x5 film holders are simple 1-quart Ziploc bags. So when your film is all loaded, and also it keeps the film holder from scratching when you've got film holders next to each other, but also it helps protect dust from getting on the surface of your film holder. So when your film holder is all loaded, you want to put it in a Ziploc bag. This way they fit nicely in your case, and you don't have to worry about scratching. I've often been asked the question, how do you know your film holder is correctly in the back of the camera? One thing before I start is to remember is you want to get a ground glass protector for your ground glass. You'll notice these are made by Keith Canham. They fit just about any 4x5 camera. It's a U-shaped piece of plastic. It fits around your ground glass. I mention this because I get a call at least once a year. I'm in the middle of nowhere and I broke my ground glass. So this is a great protection, and especially if certain cameras you have a Fresnel inside, it protects the Fresnel from being scratched. Okay, now for putting your film holder in the camera, you want to just pull this out a little bit in the back. And remember, I usually label my film holders like side 1 and 2, 3, 4. So this film holder is side 3 and side 4. So I'm going to put one side in, and you slide it in. And you notice it should feel like it's locked in. What there actually is in here, there's a little tiny groove right in here inside your camera, and there's a little tiny ridge here. That makes up for a little bit of protection against fogging. So it's the little ridge going in the groove which helps keep the light out. So it should fit in there, and if you look over here, you should see the edge of the film holder right against here. So that means it should be in. One thing I always remembered from early on when I fogged some film, whenever you take the dark slide out, you'll notice you could pull the dark slide excuse me, you could pull the film holder out a little bit. So what I recommend is grabbing with your thumb and your other fingers tightly so you can't do this. So when you pull your dark slide out, just gently pull it out and make sure you hold this so that you don't get this, because that will fog your film. And then when you're done taking your picture, make sure the black side strip is out so you know that you've exposed the picture. And again, hold this tight so that you won't fog your film, because you don't want this to happen. So when you're all done, just take your film holder out. And normally when I'm photographing, I'll do both sides, 2 pictures for each one. So I'll do 2 sheets of film for each picture. So again, I put the other one in, all the way in, and you can feel it's in. And again, when you want to take the dark slide out, just pull this out, take your picture, and when you're all done, close this up, lock it down. But it's very important to remember to grip this, because it's one of the problems of fogging film that kind of sneaks up on you, and it's kind of surprising, and it's very disappointing when you actually process your film and you see the fog. So I hope that answers most of your questions on film holders. Any more questions, please email me or just give me a call if I can help you. Thank you for watching. Bye.